Alrighty, you guys asked for it, so this is the first video I'm doing of those three. So Paladins first, then maybe Dwellings of Eldervale and Star Wars Rebellion. I think that's the order that we're going to go in. So the reason why I specifically was doing this video for the Paladins Collector's Box, City of Crowns expansion, and then the base box is because I actually, well, not anymore as of yesterday, but I used to own all three of the West Kingdom trilogy. I owned Architects, I owned Paladins, and I owned the most recent Viscounts. And I decided at some point that I don't want all three of them. Not because I don't think they're all three good games. I think they're all three good games. I think they each do something unique. But I just don't feel the need to have all of a trilogy in my collection and continue to do that for all of his numerous games and multiple trilogies that he's got coming. I mean, he's already the South River. I can't even remember what the new one is that he's already announced all three of the titles. This is West Kingdom. That's North Sea. South something. I think it's South. I don't think it's the East one. Anyways, I just don't feel the need to, at the end of the day, have like 12 games all from Shem Phillips within different spheres of worker placement goodness. Because I just don't have enough room for all that many games. I have a collection. I have a sizable collection for me, around 100-ish games and, anywhere between 90 to 120. That's a lot of games for me, like a lot of games. So I continually try to cull and trim and keep my collection lean as possible because I have games incoming and because I want enough games to where I feel like I'm playing all of them an equal amount. I don't want so many games that's like, oh, I haven't played that game in 8 years simply because I've been playing so many other games. I just don't feel like I personally need that big of a collection. And I started this process when I got the Raiders of the North Sea Collector's Edition and compiled everything in here. I like Raiders of Scythia, that new one that really takes most of the mechanics of Raiders and the Hall of Heroes and the Fields of Fame, I think was the other one. So I just did not feel, Fields of Fame. I didn't feel the need to have Raiders of Scythia, even though it condensed this huge box into one box and you don't need expansions for it. I didn't care for the artwork as much. I really am a fan of the Miko, and I just liked having this kind of deluxified version. And also I liked having the ability to where in Raiders of Scythia, all of that's condensed into one game. If I choose to, I don't have to have Fields of Fame or Hall of Heroes in this, and I can teach someone just base Raiders of the North Sea, which I find it to be a pretty accessible game. So whenever I got this, I kind of decided, you know what? I think I really maybe only want one game per trilogy. So this was my pick from the North Sea, and it's got these custom art sleeves, which I really appreciate and enjoy, which I'll get to about that. And I just decided, so I don't need Raiders of Scythia. I do think I'm going to go eventually grab Hadrian's Wall because it's nothing like any of the other Shem Phillips titles I have, and because I enjoyed it quite a bit when I played it with Alex and his wife. So, Raiders of the North Sea, and then from the West Kingdom trilogy, I'm going to keep Paladins. And I feel okay about that because Architects of the West Kingdom, to me, is the most accessible out of that trilogy. It's the easiest one to teach new players. It's the easiest one to grasp all of the mechanics. I think Paladins is actually the hardest of the three. I think Viscounts does some interesting mechanics around the rondel system and around that, kind of king of the hill and the castle in the center. So Viscounts does some intriguing things that makes it have a greater depth than Architects, but I think Paladins is the crunchiest. And from what I understand, I think City of Crowns will make it possibly even crunchier. But I'm okay with that because I've got Raiders. If I want a Shem Phillips worker placement game that is lighter and easier to teach people, I have Raiders of the North Sea and I enjoy that, and so I'll play that. So I prefer Paladins out of those three from the West Kingdom, so this is the one of this trilogy I will keep. I imagine whenever South Sea or whenever that trilogy hits, I will gravitate towards one of those, maybe the medium weight one out of the 3, who knows, and I will probably keep that one and any eventual expansions or collector's boxes that come. So, I have already opened the shrink on this, but I will say probably the one thing that I am disappointed by with this box, and I've tried to look up things. Do you guys ever keep these? I never keep these catalog things. I think I browse through them very quickly to make sure there's not a game that I didn't realize existed in the catalog, and then they promptly get tossed in the bin. But the one thing that I'm a little bummed by with this Paladins box is the fact that it doesn't have custom art sleeves. Because, yeah, there's nothing in there. There's nothing surprising. Nothing surprising. I really wanted the custom art sleeves for this stuff. Just like, because it's gorgeous with Raiders. It really does condense the theme and make it more viscerally apparent or haptic. I'm getting a lot of haptic feedback from those sleeves is what I'm trying to say. So I do like the spot UV. I don't know if you can see that as much, but the Paladins title has got a spot UV on it. I do enjoy that. And I actually love, Raiders does it a little bit in the background here, like in the background of that guy's, but not as much. I actually really like the severe negative space in the art, how it's just, just kind of on this edge here, and then you've got this massive amount of open space where you see the fiery trebuchet boulders being tossed in a siege, and then you've got the line of Paladins in the Crusade. So actually really enjoy that look to it. And then the City of Crowns expansion, which I haven't opened and I haven't played at all, obviously because I haven't opened it. But this one allows noble allies have responded to the recent attacks against our borders. Only through careful negotiation and diplomacy will these dukes, barons, counts, and margraves offer the aid we so desperately need. Will you be able to muster enough support to once again defend this great city, or will you crumble beneath the weight of indecision and apathy? So from my understanding, this gives one additional trait that you have to manage, like one additional track that you have to manage. And then there are 2 additional actions here, mustering and negotiating. And then you've got extra cards and extra goodness. So I'm curious to how this... I haven't played Paladins in several months, maybe 6 or more months, maybe a year even. So it's been a while since I've played it, and I'm excited about it. I will say the one thing that I can truly... I was talking about this with someone on Discord the other day about box size and about component to box ratio. As in, for example, Land vs. Sea is a fantastic game, but the components only fit a third of the box. You don't really need the other 2/3 of that box. Now, Good Games Publishing created a score track to where it fills out that space, but there are plenty of games that empty space they don't fill out, and so it's just an excessive cavernous box. I will say I appreciate that Shem, Phillips, and S.J. Macdonald, I think his name is Sam, these boxes are super tight, and this is for like every single Shem, Phillips, West Kingdom, or North Sea game I've seen. It is absolutely packed to the brim, which means you don't have wasted space. So, I don't actually know how this is supposed to be organized, and I feel like that's becoming the status quo for these unboxings and these ramblings, is that I don't do any research prior, so I don't know where they're supposed to go. I'm going to put these orders somewhere. Oh, wait. Can these fit here? Oh, they can't. Can these fit here, though? Ooh, they can't. I don't know where these are supposed to fit. Can these fit there? No. Can they fit there? Yes, but not sure if that's where they're supposed to go. You know what, guys? I was about to pull out my phone and figure out where this stuff goes, but that's my phone right there, looking at me, filming me. So, I don't really know. I'm kind of at a loss. So I understand that, let's see, if we just get all this stuff out, this stuff will slot in somewhere. But this major board, ooh, player boards, those are going to slot in right here on top of the components. So I can, for sure, lock in components underneath there, which I guess I will start to do. My only thing is that I don't know where the cards go. I don't really have, like, do they go in sideways? I guess they go in sideways like that, and they go in like that all the way across. Okay, so I've got, you know, your mercenaries, your people that come in. I guess it does have room. It looks like it does have room. So if you can see, like, that's where I'm going to slot those cards, and there's quite a lot of space left. So it looks like there is the potential that you can fit everything in here when it is sleeved. I just wish they had sleeves because I liked the sleeves. Okay. I am excited about two different things. Number one is I'm going to have extra baggies when I'm done that I can put in my baggie collection. So that sounds super cool to anybody who has no appreciation for board game components and storage. That's going to sound really stupid, but I have extra baggies now. Number two, I'm going to be able to consolidate, break down, and throw away, recycle, 2 boxes, the base box and the expansion box. That excites me because that means I can get boxes out of my house. And I only want a certain amount of boxes in my house. All right, so I'm going to put those cards there. So it looks like 3 slots for the 3 different types of cards that you get in the game. And it looks like there is enough room for if you sleeve them, which I appreciate. I just wish they had cool sleeves because I love the artwork and I want more of the artwork, and I would appreciate it if it was thematically tied to the game. Hopefully that comes down the line somewhere. I'm going to put, will those slot in there? They will, but I don't think that's where they're supposed to go. I'll hold off on these cards because I don't know where they're supposed to go. Also, are you the person, do you guys like Shem, Phillips, or the Garfield games? Do you like their metal coins? I don't have them. I think I might have them actually in the Raiders of the North Sea, but I don't have them for this game. So I guess we can just slot in. We're just going to see how this goes. I'm just going to put those there for now. This is an experiment in my stupidity and lack of foresight. That's what this is. That's what this is. I think they can fit in there like that. Those can. I just don't know if that's where they're supposed to go. I think that's really meant for just like the meeples. So now I have to get these like cards out of there. There we go. All right. I think, you know, we're just going to do this. Get out everything and then slowly figure out what's going on. But I guess going back to my thoughts about the West Kingdom trilogy and only keeping 1 game per trilogy. What are your thoughts? Do you think that having more of something that is similar incentivizes you to play it more, or that it prevents you from playing it as much as you might if you only had 1 of something? I think of like the Baskin-Robbins, paradox, where the more flavors you have, the less satisfied you are when you pick one, and the more you are curious about the ones that you didn't pick. So I think that at this point, I know that I think I'm just going to put them, I'm going to keep them in the baggies, because I know that technically the board would keep it pinned down, but really right now, there's no reason for me to not have it in the baggies. So I do like that all these are slotting very nicely into these little sections. It's probably going to additionally make me confused, though, as to where I'm supposed to put some of those other ones. I guess my thing is, though, is like, I'm getting close to the point where I'm running out of stuff, little holes to put these in. Yeah, I don't particularly know, to be honest, because I've kind of reached a point where I've just slotted all of those in. I guess I could consolidate some of these cards together. I don't know how this is going to necessarily fit. I don't know. You know what? Maybe I can do this. Maybe using the knowledge of my forebears, maybe using my experience with the Raiders box, I can deduce where this stuff is supposed to go in this box. Because right now, if we just examine this from what I've got, you know, currently it's starting to look pretty full already. I haven't even opened up the expansion. Don't know where all that's going to go. I will say the one thing that I was about to say these are usually pretty empty and only have just a few extra of the new components that you need. But it does seem like this is going to be a tight fit. This is going to be a tight fit. It'll go. It'll go if you want it to. If you know that reference, please share it with just me. No one else. Raiders of the North Sea. Another one of the same thing. I shall toss it. Do you guys do this thing where you like slot it and nestle it upwards? I do that a lot. Okay, so I've got the rule book on top of the main rule book. So I've got the rule books. Got more boards, more cards, add-on boards with the new actions of mustering and negotiating, new cards, new boards to add to the main board, more meeples, and more small cards. We'll go ahead and open and get out of that one-time use plastic. Yeah, it's just kind of getting to the point where it's like, I don't know where all this stuff is gonna fit. Because like this is a decent amount of extra stuff. But here, look at this. Satisfaction to the highest degree. I don't need you. I don't need you. Did you notice the difference in respect? I tossed the insert, but I laid down the box because I didn't want to be mean to the box. Okay, and then we'll put the Paladins box off to the side. Okay. All right, guys. We gotta get this organized. Let's see. I don't know what to do. Let me open up this box and see if it can give me any indication of where things are supposed to go. Okay, so got that stuff. Yeah, and in this like top little extra zhoosh section, I think it was like I put some coins and meeples and stuff. But yeah, this one doesn't really inform me as to how this one is going to work. I would just if this wasn't live on camera, I would just look this up. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to fumble through it for your pleasure. I am excited to jump back into this. This does make me want to jump back into the game. Okay, I think I'm gonna consolidate these cards for now because they're not sleeved. And that's gonna free me up to put all of the expansion main cards into that slot. And then I'm going to be able to put expansion and mini expansion, because a little mini expansion did come with that. I'm gonna put the little pieces there, but then I've got that, and that's the kind of stuff that I need to figure out. So these are the new small cards. Can this consolidate even further? Like, could that fit in there? This could fit in there. Okay, but these are all of the expansion stuff. I need to I'll use this as a separator for now until I figure out what I'm doing. I'm gonna figure this out slowly. So I used like the little first player token as a card separator, card divider between base game and expansion cards, which should now allow me to get these little cards in here in small amounts. So I'm going to put those cards in and these cards in. It's little cards in, and then I still need space for this other stuff. I'm going to slot those in there, and then I'm going to... Oh, actually, I can lock these in with those pieces and consolidate. Things are happening now. Things are happening, guys. We are moving. I'm going to move those. This is the little micro expansion that comes with the box. So if I slot those in there, and then if I can tuck these in there with them, that gets all of those into that little side box, which allows me to put the coins and plunder tokens I think those are provisions, actually. Provisions and coins right there. So now I should be able to slot all the player boards in here. And then the question is just after that, those can go in there. These can go in here. That kind of works. And yeah, it kind of works. It's not ideal. I want it to be more organized. I'll just have to go back through and see how they would organize it. But I guess my point in asking you guys the question is, do you see any sense in downsizing to favorites, even when let me rephrase. I think the point is, there are so many good games out there that my bar that I have that is kind of like my standard for what I want to keep, I feel like I have to continually raise it in order to maintain a decency in the level of the size of my collection. And so I think Architects is a great game. I think Viscounts is a good, possibly great game if I played it more. And I think Paladins is a great game. This one just speaks to me a little bit more than the other two, and that small degree is what makes me feel like I can keep this game, cull the other ones, and make space for new games and not be dissatisfied. I also think that there are certain so that's how some of my brain operates when I think of culling games. Sometimes it's also just based off of digital access. I recently sold all of my Root collection because I have the app now, and I feel like I'm much more likely to play with people who enjoy Root on the app than try to teach it to people who don't know Root in person, which I feel is not the kind of game I would teach to people fresh or new. I would much rather just sit down. If I was going to do it in person, I'd much rather sit down and play Root with people who already know how to play Root. That would be my preference 100%. So I have a couple different reasons for why I cull stuff, and I think that this one is just that the degree of my preference is a little bit higher for Paladins, and so this is the one that I want to treasure and appreciate and make nice with a collector's edition, with expansions. So this is the one I want to keep in my collection. So I've got Paladins for the West Kingdom, I've got Raiders for the North Sea, and then whatever the South, whatever that one is what I'll keep. So I think that works. And I realize I've been rambling, and I haven't even time-stamped once. So I'll be right back. Okay. All right. This really Dungeons My Dragons. If you like role-playing games, what role-playing games do you play? I currently play Dungeons & Dragons with my wife and with some friends. And then I really enjoy the Alien series from Free League. Pretty much anything Free League Publishing does, I think is fantastic. But that's one of 15 tangents in this video, which I guess is the point of these videos. But also, if you like tea and you like cinnamon, you should really try the Hot Cinnamon Sunset. They have different names sometimes, but it's Harney and Sons, and it's like Hot Cinnamon Sunset. You can get it on Amazon. We like it so much, we have it on a subscription from Amazon, and it is divine. It's so good. Timestamp. All right, timestamp thumbnail. Timestamp. Okay. Hopefully that's good. If it's not good, it's going to be awkward. I'll have to do another one in post. But I'm just happy that I got to do this during the day, so I don't have to, and it's not during a nap time. The two older kids are out, so we don't have the fan on right now. So the noise reduction, I don't really even feel the need to do the noise reduction file. And then We replaced the awful chandelier that was in here and got a new one that has brighter lights. And so I think, especially once we repaint in here and we turn the dark blue into kind of the gray that the rest of the house is at, I really think that it's going to brighten up in here substantially based off the new chandelier and the paint. But I'm excited about stuff. Timestamp. I really like Paladins. It's crunchy. I didn't talk about the game that much, like the actual gameplay. I'll do that whenever I do the Games I Got series. And I'll do it at some point for Raiders when I do the Games I Got series. But, yeah, I just felt like consolidating it because now I can throw away the other boxes, which excites me. Maybe more than it should. There's a baby crying in the background, so I think that's a cue. That's a cue for me to end it. Timestamp.